Hi everyone, you're listening to the Vialucci podcast, uncensored and completely unedited discussions about life and everything in it. We hope you enjoy the show.
So I can't remember what we do.
We normally say, and we are. Well, you normally count us in. This is.
Are we recording
Keep
now?
this
then?
in, Kerem. Keep this in.
Is everyone recording?
Yeah, we're all recording.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we're ready.
Oh my God, have you been
3,
kicked in the head again?
2, 1, and we are live.
And we're live.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Yo.
For episode,
Hello.
yes, episode 95.5. Yes, we are taking
99.5.
What did I say?
95.9.
Right,
We're not a
okay,
radio-
1,
that's a
3,
radio
2,
station.
1. There we go.
In reference to those head kicks, the answer is yes. So what are we? 99.5.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we will end up taking the mic and going for 99.6. I hope they'll forgive us if we do. But I thought the thing ended at the end of this month, the lockdown.
No. Well, I mean,
Will it be
when we
loosened at the end of
recorded,
this
we
month? Or
have,
not?
we were in tears, weren't we, when we did the last show? We
I'm
hadn't
in
actually
tears.
entered lockdown.
Yeah, I think
like-
we were in tier 4, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and then we were waiting announcement, but then they said lockdown. So I think officially we were saying this off air, but officially the review is due 15th of Feb, I believe.
I think so,
But,
yeah.
but they're saying, they'd already said, it's not like, a leak, a lot of MPs, I think Gove had said, this is Michael Gove, I just realised that doesn't help our foreign listeners. Michael Gove, who's
most of our national
senior.
listeners.
No, I think most people know who Michael Gove is. He's the slimy one. I mean, that doesn't narrow it down.
The
actually,
senior
does it?
politician in this
Yeah.
country, yeah.
But yeah, so he said quite openly, look, it's probably going to be March, but that's not the.
It's when they
surely
get
it'd be
enough
lessened.
people. It's when they get enough people vaccinated, basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
But Charles, you said you can podcast before then, didn't you?
That was
still
under
now?
That was under tier 4. I haven't actually checked the lockdown.
It doesn't feel right. I mean, I know you just think, is that really an excuse? I don't really trust it. That will stand up in a court of law. Especially this show.
It's also, if we're all dead, you don't have to worry about whether it stands up in the court or not. We're all dead. You'd be like, show me the accusers, sir.
Well, we've got a backup of staff. If one goes down, the other one just has to pick up the rifle or the microphone and carry on.
Well, they're saying, I mean, I hope people don't, we're not being flippant about, because obviously the deaths are very high and the cases are very high. It's more just that kind of that desperation, that desperate laughter of fucking hell, what now? Because they're saying, in parts of London, they're estimating that 1 in 20 people have COVID. If you're a COVID denier, then I'm not gonna
does that still
apologise.
exist now?
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course it does.
yeah.
If you are a COVID denier, then just
well, that's
you need
mental
to-
health problems.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly, yeah.
You need to be
Yeah.
taking it to care.
yeah.
I still see people in shops now. It's mental. It is properly mental. And for people put it over their nose, I'd like the levels of stupidity.
You mean put it? Oh, you mean they're not wearing it? You're
Yeah, it's
asking-
here. Like at
Yeah.
best, it's under their nose. Do you know what I mean?
We got to come up with a name for that. Hammocking?
Yeah, yeah,
Something?
it's
I don't know,
it's-
yeah.
It's round long
Being
enough
an
now.
idiot. We used to just say that person is an
Yeah,
idiot.
moronic.
Being a
Yeah.
dickhead, yeah.
But then there's probably something like you're I don't know, whatever. You're not being sensitive to their idiocy.
But the police don't enforce anything, so I don't know who I hate. I think. Well, then, they're not doing it because you're not telling them to do it. Well, we've asked. No one cares about your asking. There's got to be laws and immediate fines. That's it. If you're not doing that, forget it. You should have everyone out there. People are dying. You should have people out there. It's not a joke. You should have people out there. They'll soon pull you over if you're speeding. Like, they'll jump on you for that. But God forbid. I mean, I think in China, didn't have. Like, they use cameras for fines. Like, they will fine you for doing things in the street. I can't remember. I think it was something for a mask or something else. It seemed quite extreme. This is months ago. And yeah, the cameras, if they see you doing something, I can't remember what it was, but they were like spitting or something like that.
Littering or something. Chucking faggins.
They'll give you a fine. They'll fight they'll get your face recognition and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So stuff that's been going on.
I mean, come on, we're all just pretending like, do we give a lead in to this?
Well, I've got something I wanted before. I'm going to get my I've got priorities in order.
Okay,
Charles.
Yo.
Your cheese eating. How did it go? How's your stomach?
How did it go?
manage to- the cheese and cake. You packed it all in nicely.
Yeah.
Last time we spoke. How did it? Were you fine the weeks following?
Yeah, I mean, I turned cheese into a major meal of the day.
Okay.
For a
Have you
while,
about
for a
some
couple of
depression
weeks.
since you?
Always, highs and lows, peaks and troughs. Always. Yeah, no, yeah, I managed to get a handle on the old cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't worried about you having a handle on it. We were wondering about you not having a handle on it.
Yeah, well, I managed to get a grip of it. You know what I mean? I'm on top of it. It's not on top of me. You know what I mean?
You're cheese anonymous.
When he said grip, he means he
things.
gripped the entire wheel.
I just squish it down more. I compact it, compress it down so it doesn't feel as bad. Yeah.
So you was all right for the week after and all that, after all that cheese? Oh, blimey, Jesus.
I made a stone of stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but for somebody who has stomach problems.
Yeah, exactly.
don't
For a
help
normal
yourself.
person, this would be bad. But for someone whose guts are on the verge of exploding at any minute.
I could just see all the doctors sitting around saying, we don't know what's wrong with him. It's been going on for years. And then one day he said, do you have any cheese? Oh, yeah, I eat 3 pounds of it a week. Right. Okay, right.
You should have started. You should have led with that. Yeah.
They all go off and throw their pens down. So have you got through all your cheese, your Christmas cheese?
Yeah, no, I just finished off that mature cheddar. Actually, it was really good. Honestly,
Oh, God.
it was beautiful, man. Yeah,
Charles, what's your favourite food?
cake.
Oh, God. Really?
No, my favorite food is burritos. I love a burrito. Good burrito.
Oh,
Fair
really?
enough.
I love burrito. Yeah.
What about you, Andrew? What's your favourite meal?
Don't know, it's a tricky one.
Are you going to go Sunday roast, classical sort of thing?
Yeah,
or are
I
you
think
gonna go for
probably like
Chinese?
I think you can't beat a good Sunday roast. Yeah.
Somebody said with the Chinese food, they said it was an American guy. He said, bad Chinese food's like bad sex. He said, even when it's bad, it's still quite good.
Yeah, exactly. You'd still rather, bad sex is better than no sex.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, it's not horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles has had bad,
Well,
bad
Charles
experiences.
has had that
Well,
bad.
imagine having
I
sex and
don't
go,
know.
this is terrible. This is
I've
awful.
never had sex and then felt really ill like for days afterwards.
You've
right.
never felt. You have or you've never?
No, I never have. No,
No, I've never felt ill. We're not talking about like an immediate like.
I've never like
Sickness.
just regretted the thought. God, I really shouldn't have had like 3 helpings of that.
Oh, good lord.
Do the Chinese eat cheese?
Not in vast quantities. No, it's
But
not.
you can get it in the shop.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
Yeah?
yeah.
You wouldn't have thought it'd be. I mean, that's stupid.
There's not
to
going
say.
to be. Yeah, there's not going to be loads. No. There is no. There's no such thing as a stupid question. No, it's just not very common. It's not part of the diet. It's not in food. Because you get, for example, excuse me, in Indian cuisine, you get. Is it ghee?
You get cheese
Yeah,
and curry,
and
don't you?
paneer
Cheese.
as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was it. Paneer. Yeah. So, because obviously cows are sacred, etc., and but it's just not part of the diet, so they don't eat much. They don't have. There's not a Chinese traditional dish that would have cheese in it. You can probably get an Asian fusion, but I mean, also when I went to China, the the Western restaurants were mostly packed with Chinese. It's always the stereotype that, you go to Greece or whatever and it's all the English people, or you go to Turkey or whatever and it's all the English people packing out the McDonald's and whatnot. But yeah, and there, because it's different for them, and also because it's very salty, and obviously Chinese love salty. So yeah, whenever my housemate's cooking something, if it's extra salty, I have to go down and look at what it is. I say to him, my Chinese sense was tingling.
Chinese sense is tingling.
I was
Somebody
like,
call
"Ooh."
for a web slinger.
I was like, is that salty food? Can I smell soy sauce on the wind? So yeah, but no, they
what's
probably
it
eat
called?
cheese.
What was the 2 boring boxers? The Russian? No, what were they?
Oh, the
German?
Klitschko's.
What are they? Russian?
Boring
Klitsch-
boxers. They're Ukrainian,
the-
weren't
They
Yeah. Oh, Ukraine. I think they were Ukraine. Yeah.
yeah.
They
Same
said
difference.
when they because they grew up poor when their dad was in the
Ukrainian.
army. When they started winning, Don King sort of sent them over a thing to come over to America, and they said when we went to, and they were sort of like what you think backward because of like poverty and all that, and he said on this documentary you can watch.
He's necking the Stellas.
Just the one.
Charles, that is not me.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
He went to he said when we went to supermarkets, there's a documentary on Netflix, I think it was. They said when we went to the supermarket in America, they look like 12-year-olds. They had a big sort of Disney hat and the clothes that didn't fit, and carrying all this stuff like the children they'd never been to. And they said we went to the supermarket, and it's like the woman's. He said showing lots of cheeses, and he said I was going to. What do you mean different cheeses. Cheese is cheese. Like they've only got one cheese. Like they just grow. It'd be like saying different types of water. Although we have got that. You go, what do you mean? Like different types of water? He said, I couldn't understand how you had different. He said, surely cheese is just cheese. And you go, no, there's variations from all across the world. He said, I couldn't get my head around it. He said, I drove. I think he said it. Or when we went somewhere and I drank, I had Coca-Cola for the first time, and he ended up drinking like 12 litres of the stuff that day.
Fair play.
That's actually a thing in Borat where with the cheese, it's a cut scene from the film, I think.
Oh, okay.
Where he goes to a supermarket and it's just this aisle, just, you know, because it's in America. So, I mean, obviously we have lots of variety here, but in America, everything's up to the 10th degree. But he just makes this joke of asking the person in the shop what everything is that's the cheese. So he's like, what is this? Is this some kind of pasta? No, that's cheese, sir. We're in the cheese aisle.
And what is this?
Is meat? No, that's cheese. Everything you see here is cheese. This whole aisle is cheese.
And
sir.
what is this? They're like, that's also cheese. Yeah. And he's like, and this, like every single, I see it. Yeah.
It's just so good because it goes. It's just one of those things of like, how long can you keep the joke going for?
Was that the first one?
The first one, yeah.
I haven't seen any of them.
The second one's quite good actually. It's not it's not as good, but it's sort of. I think
surprisingly for a sequel made like 15 years later or whatever it was,
and also a comedy, isn't it?
And a comedy sequel, yes.
Comedy and horror are the two genres that the sequels tend to go off a cliff.
I'm surprised he could get away with it 15 years later. Surely everyone knew his face by that point.
Well, this is part of what happens in the film is that they you know, there's always that thing of what's real, what's set up, but he's going around trying to do all his bits, and he has people coming up to him being like, high five, and doing all the voice and everything.
My wife.
My wife, and all that kind of stuff. So they write into the, I think they probably planned ahead, that his daughter, in inverted commas, goes with him to be more undercover. That's not good English. To do a lot of the undercover stings. I mean, he wears disguises as well. They incorporate that into the documentary because he can't go anywhere.
Wasn't he like on a Channel 4 thing, or there was something that he started off? Where did he start off with that?
He started off on Channel 4 with. I mean, he was Alex, so Sacha Baron Cohen was.
And I remember watching a documentary or some interview about it, and he was saying, you go, like people say, like, how can they believe that you're real? And he says, well, you only see the bits at the end. He said, I'm with some of these people for a week, just acting normally. And he said, it's right at the end. That's when I start. Now they think I'm a normal person. They start thinking, oh, he's silly. I've built it up for you to just see that end bit. I think we're quite cheese heavy with this podcast. I can see cheese being mentioned in the bio, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm not saying I've already written down cheese already.
I mean, you said before we're recording it's not going to be the greatest podcast, but yeah, if cheese has been a major topic.
I've got a free podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
we've got a lovely family trip out to Aldi tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, real classy. But we've pre-booked some stuff, and yes, we've got a lot of cheese.
Oh God!
Pre-booked stuff. Oh, what, for collection?
Yeah, click and collect. Yeah, we're having a lot of Roquefort.
A lot of cheese. Do you get variations of it?
Yeah, I got Roquefort. I got some matured cheddar, and I got some Parmesan coming.
Right, let's derail the cheese thing. Let's put that to bed. I think
we've talk about cheese all night, man. Okay, let's talk about Trump then. Come on.
Let's get to it. So the downfall of America.
Rise of fascism.
Where do we start?
The images of it, just the breaking in and sitting there on like the speaker's chair and all that. You go, that's one of those things that's forever there. That's the line. That's one of those things that's there. I mean, you can just see China and Putin just laughing their arse off.
Oh, the Iranians are all.
It was all worth the effort.
But even other countries, you know, where he said, "Oh, shithole countries" and all this kind of stuff. I think it was in the Kenyan. One of the newspapers, not even the front cover, because you know they've got their own. You know, they're worried about
bigger fish to fry. Yeah,
but it was a photo of one of these thugs with their sat behind a senator's desk or whatever, with their feet up on the desk, you know, laughing, taking the piss, and the headline was, "Who's the banana republic now?"
Yeah, and that stain, that's going to stick around forever. Yep. That's a long time. If you can't go pushing us around anymore, mate.
The guy with the big furry hat with the Viking, the horns. Yeah, that's now iconic. That will be the image of Trump's presidency.
And also,
have you seen those videos of him? I watched a few. I was watching a live stream or something, and someone, one of these left wing sort of communist. Liberal cuck types. Liberal, fake news liberal types.
You fake left.
But they showed a couple of videos of him previously. And he was just walking around a shopping centre dressed like that, screaming that George Soros was a paedophile and like Hillary Clinton eats babies' brains like apples, and
You
like
see, the
everyone
thing,
was walking around just going,
yeah, I'm not being funny.
ignoring him like he was
when
a
I say
maniac.
like with mental health problems, when I saw a couple of snippets of it, I was looking at them and I thought, no, they're people with actual mental health problems that have just jumped onto. They're not sane people, and it's not like a slur on them. They're people with mental health. They're capable of anything. There was one bit where they're sort of grouped around, and there's some journalists sort of like 20 feet away, and there's a trolley. Not even a trolley. It looks like something you'd carry your luggage on, just flat at the bottom and one arm sticking up. It's obviously had some sort of equipment on it at some point. And there's like some guys milling around, and some bloke just walks over and pushes it over this trolley. And no one's around. You go, there's something going on in your head, like the anger. Like, I don't know what I'm just going to push this trolley over. Like a little trolley just tips it over and there's no one around. But yeah, and the fact that guy with the war paint and all that, he was, they're not hiding their faces, which is what I couldn't understand. They don't even know what you're doing.
They think they're right. They think that this is the revolution.
No, but
they're good guys. They're the good guys. They're in the right, and they're doing the
but
just.
It's the lack of knowing. No, what I'm doing is a crime. I'm doing a crime.
There was some posted a series of tweets. They said a story in 3 acts, and it was someone tweeting. It was a photo of someone, one of these many people, like they're all taking their turns like fucking idiots to get their photo taken, trashing stuff and posing. And someone going, yeah, that's my son, woo, you go, and all these hashtags about whatever, just the demented ravings of lunatics. And then the second tweet was, why is the FBI trying to contact me? And then it just went, this account no longer exists.
Do you see
hang
the one?
Hang on, I'm just getting an email from YouTube. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, the fraud, FBI fraud. No, that's a fake thing. They want you get your credit. No, they're coming. Did you see the one with the woman who was crying?
Oh, what, she got maced?
Yeah. And she was crying,
you sent me that.
genuinely shocked. Yeah, she's like, oh, so they go. You were trying to break into a federal building.
Well, she was like, why were they macing me? Why did they mace me? I didn't do anything. And it's just like.
It's. I was listening to a podcast. They were talking to one of the senators who was in there at the time, and Kamala Harris. She was in there at the time. Like they're saying, they all had to take off their pins to show that they weren't like part of the. Like all the senators have to wear a pin, and they were ordered to take all your pins out. So when they come through, but she was in there. Like if they'd have caught her, she would have been in trouble. He was talking about them breaking in, and they were talking about the police, and they're saying, right, what has gone on here with the police? This needs to be investigated.
Well, they were posing and taking selfies.
Well, yeah, but the thing was, they were showing images of on a video of like when the Black Lives Matter went past, and they were the thingy were out there. What do you call them?
The contrast, yeah. The
National Guard.
Yeah, and they said to the senator, the guy on this podcast said about the senator, he said, how many police did you have out there? And he said, well, they were banking on about 5,000 people turning up. That's what their intelligence said. About 5,000 people are going to turn up. End up being about 50,000. So that can't have just been accidentally wrong. They had 500 police there. But he said the police force, they actually have the White House, not the White House, what do you call it, the Washington police. They have 2,500 ready to go, but they just chose the 500. I mean, it was nothing. It was a barrier with some people. That's all it was. And they're going, right, that can't be by mistake. Like that's how can you have all those people at the Black Lives Matter, like soldiers, and on here you have a few cops.
The received wisdom was that they didn't want the image of armed soldiers and armed police standing on the steps of the Capitol building. But then, of course, people showed all those images of armed police and soldiers standing on the steps of the Capitol building during the Black Lives Matter marches. So,
and people they're going, the journalists were saying, I didn't know it was that easy to get in. I assumed there was sort of like levels of security. I didn't know people could just sort of run up and sort of breaking windows and climb in. I thought that you assumed there's more safety. No, that's what it's just that stupid. But so it's just there's a lot of stuff going on. But this is the problem with Trump. He's going to dig in. He's got nothing to lose, and it's going to start getting worse. He's going to stop caring that he's a politician anymore. It is now just going to be, look, I'm gone now, so I'm not that thing of pretending to be nice. Sod you. I'm not listening to anyone anymore. Like as if he has anyway. But he's just going to go, I'm not a politician anymore, so stop telling me what to do. I'm on my way out, so I'm do this, do that, do whatever. I know he's been banned from Facebook now. or suspended indefinitely, but Twitter has still got him. They've taken
temporarily.
this down.
I suspect
but Facebook,
they will.
he's suspended.
I
He's off.
suspect. I mean, it's a matter of time before he gets banned off everything else, though. Surely.
Yeah, he'll have to go onto his One America channel or whatever those bloody things.
Oh, and One American.
You think he wouldn't be there if somebody needs to point the finger at Fox News. That platform basically made him. Forget Twitter and all that. They gave him a platform, and then everyone else sort of piled in around it.
Yeah.
They need to answer for something. Like, they can't get away with that. Andrew, your screen is frozen. Do you know?
I know. I'm just trying to. This happened last time when I tried to plug, because I thought I'll go without the power because there's too many wires
just
in.
pretend you're a mime.
Oh, really? You plug
exactly.
you plug the power and it screws it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something up with this laptop. Never mind.
So
It was shocking. I mean, I knew something was going to happen because I finished work and then I was like, oh yeah, it's the 6th because this is the day the House ratifies the election results. And I was like, oh, I know it happens at like 1, I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I was like, so I went on and checked and then I was like, oh goodness, oh god, no. and it was still shocking. I expected there to be something going on. I didn't expect that because I didn't think they'd get that far.
Yeah, the shocking thing was that protests are protests and protests get out of hand. Mm-hmm. That was a riot. That wasn't a protest. That was an attack. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between a protest where a few people jump over borders and maybe burn some flags. That was people piling in. That was an attack on that building. That was the difference. All protests can get messy and pushes them back, but no sort of break into buildings en masse and government and stand there on podiums, sort of taking photos like you're in the bloody thing. It's only second to the White House, and it was the mass attack on the building. It was like a zombie attack. You know, it was an actual attack. It wasn't protesting. It was a riot. It was a Trump riot.
I mean, it was. Lots of people have said it was insurrection. It was a coup. It was a terrorist attack. I think it was. I think just because it was sole purpose was there to disrupt the legitimate democratic process. I think that was what was.
Yeah, but the breaking into
because they didn't
building.
just protest outside and scuffle with police and and burn a few cars and whatever. Yeah. Because that does happen and that happens in every country. You know.
But the piling in and sort of surrounding the building on the outside with all the scaffold out there, like you've taken over this building. That's how you've actually attacked somewhere and taken over the building.
Yes. And the irony, of course, of all these Trump supporters scaling a wall to get into Congress.
I thought you want to keep behind the walls.
Because I don't think that they thought. I'm in two minds about this because I don't think that they realised how far they could get. Necessarily. I think I was surprised. It's like, it's one of those things that they were surprised. I was surprised. But then there was some level of planning because some guys brought ropes, some guys brought grappling hooks, some guys brought megaphones.
With pipe bombs.
Some guys bought
pipe bombs.
Cable ties.
Some guys bought cable ties, precisely. So there was some level of planning, and there has been some level of planning online for a while now. If you look on the Donald.win, I think, one of these forums, they've been talking about this for months, since the election. But what surprised me though was they stormed the building, they got into the house, and then they just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't actually know what are we doing now. Take photographs? I don't know. Yeah, but they didn't expect to be here. But when you had things like the police were like open the gates and went, yeah, go on then. You think, what? How's that happen? Like that wouldn't have happened in a Black Lives Matter. They just opened the gates and went, yeah, go on, off you go. Start smashing the windows. Isn't there anyone to stop us? No, you can get through there. Go on, get in. Yeah. And the selfie things, that's mental. For that copper to be taking selfies, there's got to be something going on there. We go, are you stupid? Like you must, even if you agree with them, you must know. I can't take selfies with these people. It's literally on camera.
There's cameras everywhere. There's internal cameras, security cameras, and also everyone's got their phone out recording.
Yeah, so things like that, you go, I don't know what. But I mean, it's shocking because you go, that's the democracy. That's leading the charge for democracy, and they're sort of internal, like eating themselves from the inside out.
The light
is-
on the hill, literally the light on the hill. You know.
Yes, you go, well, how do you... the only good silver lining to it would be that it has to have at least split Trump's base even more. Half of the country must have gone, look, we believe in your rantings and all that, but we know the bigger picture of this is ruining the country. So that he must have cut his own throat there with his last sort of gasps of...
I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook, on Twitter, even where he's not able to post, people talking about it. And they're just doubling down. Now it's, you know, because then they have to admit that they've backed the wrong horse. They've backed the, you know, this fascism, these nutters, these right-wing guys. So then they've got to go, oh no, it was all set up. Now that they failed and they were basically told to fuck off, you know, and nothing happened, Biden is still going to be president. Now it's like, oh, the left set it up.
Yeah. There's two Republican congressmen have come out and said that this was all Antifa, it was all leftists, it was all liberals.
Ted Cruz and all that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I mean,
and there was a fake story in the Washington Times, not the Washington Post, the Washington Times, which is the tabloid, that said facial recognition software in the Congress had identified loads of known Antifa members entering during this. And they actually had to issue a retraction because actually the company that runs the facial recognition software said that, no, we didn't find any Antifa members. What we did find is loads of known Nazis on watch lists. Loads of militia members, Nazis, KKK people, and white supremacists. Like people actually on terrorist watch lists.
Yeah, I mean, if you could have just circled that area and just got all of those people and took them to another island, that would have helped society out greatly. Like, these are the worst of the worst. These are the stupid. These are the ignorant. These are the delusional. These are the ones with the mental. Just suck them all up and bung them on another island. Right, we know who you all are now. You think it's going to force what's his name's hand to do something about Trump? But you still just go, no, they're going to use the old moving forward thing. But the worse he does, I can't see them doing anything to him. But the worse he does, the more risky it is for Biden and all that to go, that we're moving forward and looking forward. And because if he's got to this and you do nothing about him, like he's got to go to jail. But then
I don't know what he does. I was discussing this earlier, and I don't know how you move forward, and I don't know how he should move forward. I don't know whether you should double down and charge all the people who did this. They're all posting. I noticed loads of people are pulling all their pictures on Twitter and Facebook of them posing, thumbs up in the speaker's chair and in Pelosi's office. Baked Alaska, one of these right-wing YouTube nitwits, he's apparently been blitzing all these YouTube compilations, begging them to delete him from these compilations because all of a sudden the FBI are asking questions about him. I don't know.
Someone on the radio was saying, he said, all this started because when you started having people with rifles turning up at senators' houses and things and threatening them and not doing it, you didn't do anything then. You should have clamped down on that immediately. But this sort of, there's just there are a few people here that do this and they've just gone, well, there's no downside to us just showing up with guns wherever we want, and then just a few more people, then a few more thousand people, then a load of us. They said they turn up to Washington with like fucking arms, they're fully armed with like magazines and things. You go, oh, they don't assume there's any consequence to any of this. When what was his name? Rudy Giuliani saying, what was it? He said, we've got something
trial
about combat.
Trial by combat.
You go, how can you say that? How can everyone around you go, do not say, what have you just said? What have you trial by combat?
Even in Game of Thrones, that was considered old-fashioned. In Game of Thrones, they mention that. And they're like, really? No one's done that for a couple hundred years. What are you talking about?
But to say that on camera with everyone listening, that he has mental health problems, like that is, he is
he's
gone.
A lunatic.
He's just gone.
But that's what they'll rely on. That's the thing. We shouldn't say that because they'll all be like, "Oh no, I'm just like all the old mafia bosses were just fake that they were mentally ill or that they were senile."
Yeah. Uncle Junit, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. From Sopranos.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what they'll all do.
I was listening to my audiobooks and where was it? The Barack Obama one popped up. He's got another one out. And what's it called here? Oh, A Promised Land. So it's just come out in 2020, A Promised Land. And so he had his autobiography beforehand, right? All this, what's the change thing he said? Change
is coming to America.
Yeah, what was his motto? It was a Sammy Davis Jr. autobiography. He used the name Changes. Or whatever it was, his little.
What, his slogan?
Yeah, what was it?
It was just change. He's wasn't it change?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, all that. But then he went into so we had all that. Yes, we can. Change is coming to America. He got in.
Change gonna come.
Yeah, nothing. Did work. The drones, all the things went back on. The whistleblowers went back on that. Drugs put one of the worst people in charge of that. Now he's popped back out the other side of it again, and now his book's about Promised Land. And you go, you really are just a bunch of actors. All before, promise, gonna change. I'm in there. I'm gonna do exactly what I did before, everyone else did before, and worse. You always do worse. You never just do the same. Then you pop out the back end. Oh, I'm not gonna Promised Land again. Promised Land, dreams, Promised Land. You go, what the? No, do that when you're in the job. Don't do the bit before. Do the job where you do everything bad, and then pop out the other end and start doing books about Promised Land again. It's just grifters, actors. That's all they are.
Well, we're talking about Biden, and what does he do in his first few months? Does he reach out across the aisle? Does he compromise? Obama spent 8 years desperately trying to meet these maniacs halfway, and they still hated him. They still called him a communist. They still said he was a tyrant. Yeah. Biden could do exactly the same thing. Biden come in and be very reasonable, very, very calm, very moderate. They're still going to call him a communist. They're still going to call him a tyrant. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. Most of these people can't be reached, it seems.
But the difference between the right and the left is gone. There is now just the Republicans and the Republican Democrats. That's all it is. It's just big business. Big business has got its tentacles in so deep that there's now no difference. You go back to, like 50 years ago and things like that, where you could see, they believe in the right and they believe in the left. And now it's just, they're all the same. They're all funded by, when you've got all the big businesses and the Koch brothers funding both parties, you go, well, there you go. You're literally connected. You're just playing different games and using different words, but it's all just self-fulfilling.
I think he has to reach out to the working class, because I think the white working class, particularly in America, it seems, feels completely disenfranchised right now.
A lot of it, I think, is going to make things worse will be what happens to Trump. That's going to be the big thing, because if he's gone so far that if the weight of the law doesn't come down on him, it will either do nothing or they will do him properly.
I don't think they can. We talked about this previously.
Yeah.
He'll just spill his guts. He'll go on Twitter and say, give away national security secrets. He'll do anything. He will do anything. Well, this is a man.
Russia,
like you said, your Russian prediction. If people are new to the show, hello, Theo's theory, and we kind of we're sort of. I flim flam on this one. I'm sort of the view that I don't think they will let him go, but. Theo's view, just very briefly, is that he will go to Russia because they'll offer him anything and everything, and once he's there, then they can just squeeze him for info.
Yeah, remember as soon as Trump comes out, he's got the New York thing, the lawyers after him immediately on the millions, lots of counts. He's got
potentially legal action from this thing the other day.
Yeah, exactly. This on top.
The Justice Department said that they're investigating him because
he's about 400 million in debt, so that all comes back onto him now that he's outside of so he's got no money. He can't afford all this, and then you've got other countries that know how to play him that will say, Trump.
I think he'll just cut a deal.
Not for that amount though. For the amount and the laws. What deal can you do? What can you give?
Nixon fixed it, and they,
but that wasn't on this scale. That was small fry compared to this.
Yeah, it was, but in the standards were different then, and he was, So he's talking about there's all these rumors that Trump wants to pardon himself, and everyone's not sure about the legalities of that. It'd be a bit like the Queen. I was trying to explain to, I can't remember who it was the other day, about the the difficulties, when people talk about, do this and do that with the Queen. It's like, but the crown versus the crown. That was the difficulty with chopping off Charles I's head.
Yeah,
they had to.
But the problem is he's gone so far. If it was like a year ago, but now
I still maintain he'll. So
I don't know what he can offer that would balance out what he's done.
He'll offer to shut up, is what he'll offer.
But that can't.
Have you seen the statement he made? He made a statement today, basically, as much as I think this is as much as we're going to get, accepting that he lost the election, accepting a peaceful transition, and denouncing the violence.
Yeah, but that was video with an auto cue, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it was a self-written thing. They apparently Pelosi said she has publicly. She said in the press conference today she has talked to the Joint Chiefs of Staff to stop Trump anywhere near nuclear codes, and then stopping him any first strike military action. They're also talking openly about impeachment. I think they will file impeachment again, but that's probably to try and stop him running. I don't think that will go through because I think it needs 2/3 majority in the House, and I don't think they will get that. I think he came out. I think they have threatened him with Article 25, which is to remove him. I think that will keep him in check for the next 2 weeks. After that, I think that the only real thing that you can get him at is his finances. And I think if it looks like his brand, his image is tarnished, and people won't lend him money, people won't do business with him because he's got a terrorist organization, basically. I mean, if his supporters keep on doing this, start blowing up buildings, start attacking people in his name, you know what I mean?
He's built up so many problems on all fronts, criminality, the fraud, the tax and all that, that he's only got the presidency to protect him. And when that bubble bursts, he's just going to have a tidal wave of things coming towards him. And like I said, if it was 2 years ago, you'd still think he can get away with this. I'll shut up and I'll go away. I'll do whatever. But now he can't. How can you have nothing happen to him with everything? And that's as of now. Forget 2 weeks down the line.
I remember someone said, "Oh, this is rock bottom for America."
Yeah, this is and
I was like, I was like, see what happens next week. You know what I mean?
Well, tonight,
this is a new low.
Before I go to bed, I'm just going to pop the news channel and see what's happened now. Another breaking news.
You go, God, this is a new low.
2 weeks, mate. 2 weeks. That's a long time in Trump world.
Yeah.
God, it's just... You think back to 2 months ago, you go, well, this is the bottom. This is the rock bottom. Nope. No.
Yeah, it keeps on getting worse. It just keeps on getting worse.
I think we need a bit of good news. Andrew, have you got your computer? What's so happened with your camera? Can you not fix it? It's so
I don't know what it... Yeah, I know. Sorry. I don't know what it is. This is the thing that happened when we... you weren't here for this, Charles. This is when your guts were on fire. I think you'd eaten your body weight in Roquefort again.
Yeah. My intestines blew up.
Yeah, I don't know. There's obviously some glitch where I think I must have knocked it, and now that we're up and running, I can't now.
Oh, you can't.
I'd have to leave the call and then come back with the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's not that unflattering a picture. I mean, it could be worse.
Yeah, you look like you're pondering something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I am a ponder. Do you want to hear a story of just like this is not this is again not someone to admire. Obviously not on the scale of Trump. We're not talking, it's not that deplorable. But just someone you go, are you actually for real? Indulge me. This is a story I've been hanging on to for a few weeks. This is from the BBC. I'll be reading liberally from this. A US judge in Michigan has ruled that a 42-year-old man can seek compensation from his parents for destroying his pornography collection.
I heard about this.
Yes.
Yeah. David Working, we will name and/or shame him, who was living with his parents following a divorce, sued them over the items, which he claims were worth over £25,000.
25 grand?
Jesus Christ.
He was told
what is this, Victorian or something?
Yeah, well, it's emails between Mr. Working and his... So basically, what he divorced from his wife, probably because he had too much porn. And, it was me or the porn, and he chose the porn.
Yeah. What's in that room, darling? Never
exactly.
mind. What's in that cupboard? Never mind. Don't go in there.
Yeah,
25 grand's worth.
Well, this is the quantity of 1,600 DVDs and tapes.
1,000.
Jesus.
I mean, I think I have owned a porn video in my life.
And shared it between 3 friends.
Yeah, exactly. I'm joking aside, like, I mean, yeah, without being too crude, but pornography is a reality.
But that's an addiction or a hoarding.
Yeah. This was when I owned this porn video. It long since thrown the bin. Probably I don't know, 50. But when you're a teenager and you're like, oh, it's one of those things you do. And again, I'm not excusing it. It's pretty gross, but it's one of those things. It's like, oh, I can go to the pub now. Oh, I can go into a sex shop and buy a porn. It's one of those things. Yeah, 1,600 porn films that's.
It's a mental health problem. We're back to
yeah,
that.
and again, but this is that to me is.
But what about the rest
that's
of it?
A self-inflicted.
That's not 20 grand.
Yeah, I don't know. Where is it? Oh, irreplaceable collection of magazines. So it's also magazines as well.
Oh, yeah.
Christ knows how many magazines he must have had then. I mean, I guess if there's some as you say, Charles, some vintage, whatever, Victorian.
Collectible Victorian stuff.
This is the thing, though. But imagine that. Imagine that. Like, there's so much to break down about this David Working chap. That you're okay. Fine. Set aside. Divorced, moved with new parents. That happens to so many people.
That's at your parents' house as well.
Yeah, that's it. His father told him ahead of time, "Don't bring your porn," which makes me wonder: does everyone know that he had loads? But did everyone know that he had loads of porn, or was it like that's what I question? Like,
I think if you have 1,500 DVDs, I think that's hard to hide. You know what
I mean?
Like, yeah,
it's like, son, why are all these 10 boxes all taped up saying "Do not open"?
Yeah. Why can't we go in the West Wing? No reason.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's got to be a whole room. Of,
yeah.
I can't and a big room. Surely that's got to be. But at what point in your life do you get? That's like the people who are so fat they can't get out the room, and you go, when did you go beyond the breaking point?
There are certain things in the human condition where, like I've said, you go, right, this is a mental health issue now. It's not about sex. It's something.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what an acceptable amount of pornography is. Like, I don't, because again, that's
a
not
normal amount.
Yeah, because again, it's not something you would expect. If someone said, "Oh, what's an amount that's acceptable to be overweight?" and you would go, "Well, ideally, you don't want to be overweight, but the culture we live in, our lifestyles, etc., etc." So, if you're a little bit overweight, that's if you're a little bit. Got a little bit of a podge on, whatever. A little
happens
bit
to the best of us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Back to life. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But if you're like, okay, the doctor is telling you need to do something about your weight, and you don't do anything, then okay, there needs to be an intervention.
Yeah.
In
terms of porn, he's like Homer Simpson when he puts on all that weight.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel the chap but the guy with 1,600 porn films, I feel he's got 1,599 too many.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my. I don't know, but that would be my.
There's going to be something. It'd be like a hoarding problem or something.
Yeah,
he didn't wash.
Like, did he watch? Like, I mean, obviously, we don't want to get too grotesque here, but. You know what I mean? Like, again, what is that? What is the purpose of that? I know, obviously, we can all snigger and go, we all know.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, that's serious.
There'll be other things
you can't
going
watch
on.
all that.
He'll have he'll have addiction
with
problems. He'll have hoarding problems. He'll be one of these people that doesn't
it's one of
wash.
those things you go, well, I guess it's better than being, smoking crack, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's just, it's just so many things that you sue your own parents, your parents who took you in, I might add.
Yes.
It's so
compound
strange.
things. I've got a good story.
Oh God, here we go.
We moved into this house. We moved into like a student house in Birmingham.
Yeah,
like years ago when I was a student in Birmingham. Very short lived. Long story. We moved into this like 3-story house, and it was like 6-bedroom or whatever. And at the very top, they had like this one room had like a door that opened up onto the roof, and just a sheer drop like 3 stories down.
Bloody hell.
And we basically the contract started, and we all rocked up, and we were going to spend a few days together and have a party and stuff. And like this was like a few months before uni started. We was going to meet up and have some fun. And we turned up, and everyone was still there. Because they were like, apparently they'd asked the housing agency if they could stay an extra week. No one had told us, and we paid for this. So we turned up, and we're like, right, you guys need to get lost, because we paid. This is our house now.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, have you got a house? And they're like, yeah, we've rented a place. We haven't moved out. So they basically had to pack up. We stood there and watched them pack up and shift all their stuff. and they shifted everything. They just had to pack up a few hours. They were really pissed. But basically, so they all packed up and left in a hurry that day. And then we realized that like they left some stuff behind. We realized that one guy at the top in the room that had the door that opened up to a 3-story sheer drop, he had left 6 bin bags in there.
Oh God.
And we were like, okay, bloody hell. He's like, what the hell's in here? Food or socks or something? You know what I mean? Looked in the bin bags, and we're like, oh no, it's literally just porn mags. And we're like, what? Full. And we're like, what? A big bin bag. I mean, like full standing up, stuffed, huge. I mean, overflowing, like 6 of them. And we were like, what? And then we started going through them, and we're like, no, this is all porn mags. We're like, what the hell?
Jesus Christ.
And then, but it was all, and it was all horrible. It was all like very graphic, but it's all granny porn.
Oh God! I don't know. That sort of makes me laugh. It sort of takes the sting out of it.
But it's not like a joke. It's not like, "Well, look at this. Well, you buy from me. Well, look at that." Yeah. It was like 6 huge bin bags.
I like that cavalcade of sound effects.
Whoa, lads, banter, granny. And the guy who was moving in there, he just thought it's funny, so he just put loads. No, we did. I think he wasn't. No, he wasn't there, and we put up loads on his wall everywhere, and he just kept it up for like months.
What did you do?
How long ago was this?
Oh, it was years ago. It was like 15 years ago or something.
So what happened? Did you move out before the porn did?
No, well, we had to chuckle that.
Oh,
Literally, they left it, so we had to like put it out for the bin man. But for all the time we were there for a year contract, and for all the time we were there, we got so many. Because I shouldn't say this. Someone else used to open all the posts for jokes just to see all the weird stuff that was coming in. And this person had so many pornography catalogs.
Oh, bloody hell.
Obviously, he'd mail ordered.
What's a porn catalogue?
I think he'd mail ordered stuff, and
that's a lot of commitment. That mail order.
Yeah, well, he was obviously mail ordering stuff, I think, and then like he was getting loads of like catalogs and stuff.
So would this have been before the internet took off properly?
This was a good 15 years ago, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
But you mean like, so hold on, I'm a bit like, what's a cat? As in like, here's the list of the 10 new releases this week.
Yeah. It was just literally
Good God.
kind of, yeah, you know, like you used to get the old the Gizmo ones, whatever they were called. It was all nonsense like X-ray specs and
those kind of, and they'd always do the rounds at Christmas.
Invoice or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
There's
all sorts of variations of those.
Yeah. And it used to be like kind of nonsense and gizmos and stuff.
Oh God, but porn has to have its own version.
It was like thick, and it was all like porn. It was graphic pictures of porn DVDs and like magazines and stuff and dildos. And I was just like, I used to open them up and just like crack.
But also, why, if you're someone who's ordering a lot of porn. I mean, obviously, we're of the opinion that this is not a well person. But
bin bags full.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? If you're ordering all this kind of pornography, and obviously you've got some sort of fetish and whatever, why wouldn't you change your address? Like, why wouldn't you contact the company and be like, "Hey, can you stop sending?"
Well, yeah, but this is a bloke with bags of porn. He's not a sane, rational human being.
I think it was junk mail. I'm assuming it was sort of junk mail and stuff. They got his address, so they were just going to blitz him.
Oh God.
Junk mail.
I wanted to talk about an article, and it's actually to do with sex as well. So, Andrew, I'm sending the link to you right now. So have a little rundown of what it all is.
What are you sending it via?
I'm sending you the link. Email.
Oh, email. Oh, look at this.
Have a look at it. Just to have a few seconds. Let me know if you get it or you don't get it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, this was something that popped up and I thought, well, this isn't real. And then I read it. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, this is for real. But it's about the Europeans being quite open about sex. And I thought, oh, this is great. This is like they're not being stuffy.
But I don't think this is very morally. This is
No, but there's nothing wrong with it. Like Andrew, Charles is
I respectfully disagree. The government. This is from Yahoo News. This is I didn't quote who wrote the other article, but this is by Adam Bolt and published on the 4th of January. The government in the Netherlands has clarified that it is legal for driving instructors to offer lessons in return for sex, as long as the students are over the age of 18. However, it is illegal to offer sex in return for lessons.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it took me a few minutes to get my head around, but it makes sense.
The government in the Netherlands clarified it's legal for driving.
So if somebody, you can, what is it? The driver.
So an instructor is allowed to
offer lessons in return for sex.
Yes.
However,
the person can't say, I've lost it again now.
Why is that? The Dutch love their technicalities. No, they do. I mean, the whole coffee shop industry is based on numerous technicalities and sort of blind sides to the law. Yeah.
Oh, so it's to do with it's to do with the fact that you're making it quite clear that the sex is in return for the lesson, not for the money that would pay for the lesson. So I guess you can't put a cost on.
I'm still not there. I've lost it.
I think that means that one performing a sex act counts as the cost of the lesson, not the cost of the lesson.
No.
But again, that's technical. But I mean, but prostitution is actually legal there. I mean, that isn't a technicality. That is actually legal. They have a union and everything.
If that paradigm works, then that could be used anywhere. Then that could be used for any service. Surely, why not? Why just? I'm surprised the driving lesson would be the last thing to go. You could do that for building work. Do you know what I mean? Where would it stop?
You know, they have a statue for sex workers in like one of the squares.
A statute or statue?
A statue
but
for sex workers.
I'm sort of you know, and obviously Theo, with your background, you're probably more. This is not to say that Theo's a prostitute, but my point is that obviously knowing people with who have been,
there's no problem with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my view is that I think sex work should be legalized. It should be regulated. It should be, because you're taking it away from criminals. I have a similar view to drugs, but obviously I appreciate we don't want people just doing heroin willy-nilly and whatnot and meth and it, you know. But I think there should be, the more you know, this is the same with as America had with
Prohibition,
Prohibition, thank you.
Yeah, the negative aspects tend to stem from the criminality and it being criminalized.
Yeah, because you're always going to have these illegal things. You know, we still have alcohol smuggling because people don't want to pay the duty and whatnot, and same with cigarettes and whatnot. It's tax avoidance now, whereas. So I think if you regulate sex work in some way, how that is, I don't know, but. You know, when people go, "Oh, you don't have the answers." Well, I'm not a lawyer. What am I meant to come up with the laws for?
Well, it's not difficult because it's been done in other countries.
Lots of European countries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they've sort of, in this country, to the best of my knowledge, they have decriminalised to a degree being a sex worker, but paying for sex work.
Yeah, well, that's where you get the massage thing. You can't. They know what you are. I worked at places where the police would turn up just to make sure you're okay, as long as you sort of abided by certain laws of like not having 7 girls in a flat. I think you could only have like 2 per, you know, something like that. There was some law, and that was a while ago. And the police, they're not going to arrest you for, they know what you're doing. I've been sat in cars with like, and the police will pull up and go, "Oh, who are you?" And they go, "Oh, sorry, okay, we're just doing a thing. I'm doing security." And they go, "Oh, okay." There's certain laws, but if I had 6 girls piled in and I was there with gold teeth, do you know what I mean? There's things they allow it to happen now because they know common sense tells you it's fine. There's not a problem.
Because that's the thing. It's the people trafficking and it's the slavery.
Yeah,
that's the awful thing. That is truly awful. And that should. This is hopefully what this is. The theory is legalizing it and making it all above board. Union, as I said, in the Netherlands, they have a union. You know what I mean? They still do have. There still are people trafficked, and there is still trafficking there. And it is bad. But you know, hopefully, the more above board it is, the safer it is. And I think in like, for instance, the red light district in Amsterdam, no one's ever been killed there. None of the girls have ever been killed. Some of them have been hurt. Some of them have been attacked, of course. But like.
I think the thing is obviously within any industry, there is some element. There's going to be some element of criminality. Building works. There'll be kickbacks, or there'll be protection money,
of course,
or there'll be bribes, or what. So anything.
But then, if you look at sex or drugs, even you think, right, what happens if we keep drugs illegal? How much does that cost society? You go, forget it. Then what are we doing? This is insane. You've got to stop it. You're funding mass crime.
I'd certainly be for decriminalising. Obviously they've lowered. Although, is it back up again? It's hard to keep track.
It's Class B now. Yeah, they made it Class
went
B.
down to C, didn't it?
We need to go over that. That's funding. You're keeping criminality, but the problem is you've got the prison system and all that. It's all tied in now. So it's
how much could you get from taxing it? Sure, I know obviously private prisons make an enormous amount of money, and I'm sure that lots of MPs who are in favour of keeping drugs illegal definitely don't have contacts with the people who are.
But 95% of all the money that goes to criminals on it anywhere all starts with drugs. They might be doing other stuff, but the big money, their power, which is the money, is drugs. That's what I mean. So
surely if you slapped a tax on cannabis, don't make it crippling.
Any drug.
Because then they'll just go to the criminals who'll offer it for cheaper. But if you,
are you still on the fence with legalising prostitution then?
No. I think no, not at all. I think that should be legalised. I think you just, as with anything, you legalise it, you regulate it, you have licensed premises, you have, I don't know,
give everyone health checks, make everyone
you have to,
safe.
Well, you have to. You can do all sorts of things, saying like you have to. Again, you're on the fly here coming up with things. You would say you would have to be a sex worker. You must be a licensed sex worker. To have the license, you must have
security, professional security.
But also, you would have to perhaps take STD checks, but that's tax deductible against your business. As a self-employed person, I don't.
Well, they talk about like the adult film world, and they say, she's a porn star. You go, they're the safest people to have sex with because they have to have like HIV tests. What do you call it? All the steps. Every 3 weeks they have to have another set of tests. Another set of tests.
Yeah. Again, I don't have any judgment against people who do pornography, people who are sex workers of whatever kind. It doesn't really, the distinction between sex worker and
the thing is, somebody's going to control the industry in anything. So it's either the government or criminals. Drugs, prostitution. Who do we allow to control this industry, and where does the money go? They're not going away. We know that. So where does the money go? We're choosing criminals. Yeah. What about drugs? Yeah, we're choosing criminals to get the money. It's absolutely bloody mental. It's absolutely
same thing with gambling. Same thing gambling in America. I mean, gambling, like lots of states, it's still illegal. And guess what? Organised crime control it. The mafia control it. Genuinely,
it's going to happen. So it's just who's taking the money for it.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. So when that, I think, well, if that situation, surely that's allowed anywhere. Then it's the transfer of sex for a service. That's what it is. I mean, how far does it go? Can you be in a supermarket?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
to the manager.
That's what I mean. I think that's why, to a degree, there has to be regulation. That to me makes me uncomfortable.
But it's odd that it's the driving thing. If you said that about general stuff like services, I go, well,
to me, I find it worrying because you think, right, driving instructor is likely to be an older person.
Yeah, well, it's not the older; it's them being young. I'm not too fussed about the older person.
But what I mean is the person taking the lesson is liable to be young, but it's also the driving instructor is older. They're in a position of authority, i.e., I can help you pass this test or not. You know what I mean?
Plus, how expensive is driving lessons?
Yeah, so but I know they're expensive, but they're not.
Because imagine if you said from now, which could work, if people are struggling financially. I don't know about Amsterdam, but just take the rule generally. If you started saying, you're allowed to do it for rent, people would be, woohoo, yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, no worries.
I think that's almost, that to me is, that's a problem about society. Why can't I earn a job and pay my rent?
Yeah, but the problem is they're not going to stop taking money, but people are having to be forced to do things. Getting back to criminality,
I would have more. I would be totally fine if someone was a sex worker and paid their rent
with sex.
No, with cash that they earned from their job.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. That to me. I know that sounds like an odd. It almost seems like, well, why not cut out the middleman? But I think that again, you've got positions of power. We've got an
imbalance. You have a relationship with an imbalance of power. Yeah.
Because when someone is going to a sex worker for whatever they might want to do, whatever the agreed,
Sex,
however, but sex, you know what I mean, whatever, okay, fine. That's obviously me being prudish and British, but yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, no, so no, it's fine. It's silly me talking around it. That to me, that's a clear. There's an almost equal footing, and actually, probably the sex worker, if it's regulated, is in the position of power. They're the person that's selling the product, that sets the price, that sets the terms of the transaction. I.e., I don't know how costing works, so let's not get into that, but let's say I'm assuming it's done by hour or whatever, by time or whatever, and they say, these are the terms, it's this much, we can do this, and this. And if you don't like it, go to the next sex shop, that kind of thing. And that to me gives that is the sex worker in a position of power. This is obviously me being very blue sky
power
regulation. Yeah. Whereas if it's right, where it's because let's be honest, it's going to be some greasy fat landlord being like some disgusting pig. It's of course, I know, yes, there's going to be a normal person, there's going to be a woman, but let's be honest, the vast majority of people who would be like, yeah, we can have sex for your rent, is going to be some greasy, disgusting fat pig man.
Yeah.
Like whether he's fat, but he's going to be some greasy, disgusting sex
classic
pig.
arsehole, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy with six. He's going to be a scumbag guy. He's going to be the guy with 6 bags of porn in his life. You know what I mean? It's that person. He's going to be a degenerate. That's why. There's never going to be. Pornography.
Six
ironically,
bags of granny porn as well.
But you know what I mean. But ironically, pornography would have us believe that I can't pay my rent this month. Well, we can work out something. It's going to be 2 beautiful people having.
Can you still get porn DVDs in this country or anywhere?
I don't know. Probably.
So what are like in the sex shops? What are they selling?
Well, I haven't been to a sex shop for a long time, but I assume they must sell. I'm assuming they must sell DVDs. I imagine it's mostly sex.
But that would be madness. Surely everything's for download now, rather than because that's a physical.
But
cost.
that's like
it's like
DVDs in
HMV. Yeah, it's like HMV. Physical media's just dead. Isn't it?
But you think most sex shops are quite small, aren't they? They're not enormous retail space.
Yeah, it's not like Walmart, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like there's not like a huge, like the old HMV on Oxford Street that was like a whole block. You're not going to have that of a pawn shop. I assume someone, email us via Vialucci at podcast anyway. Or whatever it is.
Maybe it would be a better world if we did. I don't know.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it won't be a better world.
It probably wouldn't. No.
Oh God.
Have you ever been to Dam though?
Yes, I have actually.
It is strange because you sort of walk down. It's fun to have a look, like because you sort of walk around and you're like, wow, it's kind of shocking at first because wow, it's really in your face. But what's more shocking is the sex shops, and they literally have all the stuff in the windows. They have all the posters and graphic scenes of sex acts in the window.
Is it saying massage, or are they not even doing that?
Oh no, because it's all completely legal.
Sex.
Yeah. But they literally have all the sex shops and it has all the DVDs and all these posters of graphic sex acts and like the fist, I remember graphically.
Nice.
Do you want to go into that?
No,
we're okay.
Skirt around it and come.
No,
it's a rubber fist.
Yeah, we got it.
It stuck in my mind when I saw that. I was just like, Jesus.
As long as that's all where it stuck.
I just thought, it looked like an offensive word.
Again, that brings us back to Borat. There's a bit where they fight with the he uses a rubber.
I'm not doing my Borat impersonation here.
I didn't go to the red light district when I went to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
No, it was only very briefly. I think we did go to a cafe,
a coffee shop,
with a schmuck and a pancake,
bong and a grip.
And do they have women in the windows, sort of thing? Or not?
Yeah.
I think there's been a crackdown on that. They've tried to. I was just reading in that same article that you sent me, Theo, that they're trying to crack down on.
They're gentrifying the area apparently because it's prime real estate. So like all these trendy shops and media companies are moving in apparently. Yeah.
So what? They're taking the women out the windows.
Yeah.
It's been quite.
And they're closing coffee shops as well. They closed like quite a few. They closed about 50 or 60. There used to be 200 and something. 200.
Isn't it stricter now as well? Like you can't just turn up and they're trying to discourage people from just flooding into Amsterdam and
drug tourists and stuff.
Yeah, because they do say that the Netherlands it's Amsterdam is one country and the rest of the Netherlands is another.
Right, This is late night chat with
I know.
Vialucci.
No, but I think
This
we're
is the adult.
being. I hope people don't think we're sniggering snit. We're saying that obviously, if we look back over the things we discussed, we're saying how owning too much pornography is obviously a problem. Things like sex work of any kind ought to be legalised and regulated.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that is for the
in the
safety
future,
of-
this is going to be such an antiquated conversation. It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
is going to be like
Yeah.
granddad chat. Oh, what? No drugs? Yeah, no. Oh, we're ridiculous. What? You're so stuffy about sex.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the things of what is, but again, that applies to anything. You shouldn't be able to. When I feel
I
about
can
drug
understand
regulation,
that keeping the drugs illegal, you have got that thing of like the government makes a lot of money, the courts make a hell of a lot of money, the public, government services to deal with drugs and things, the police, the drugs, the judges. That's a big industry. But the thing
They'd
with
make
the
more taxing it. They'd make more legalising.
yeah, but the sex industry, you go, there's no downside to that, like legalising that. Nobody's, you're not. It only benefits the government, but they're still not doing it.
well, it's the moral outrage, it's the red tops, But the thing with that is that generation will eventually die off.
Yeah, we're not packing out the churches anymore. Once that's
Yeah,
gone.
that's what I mean. Like once, once the one, it's for example, in America, who are obviously much more prudish and sort of, even though that's the home of pornography, it's Las Vegas, there's all this stuff. There's these land of contradictions,
Puritanical.
and there was, yeah, exactly, yeah, this faux puritanical, but they're all anyway behind closed doors. But there was I think it was Hallmark, on the Hallmark channel, a card company, this was last year perhaps, placed an advert. I think it was either Valentine's Day or it was some kind of romance themed advert, including two women kissing, and the Million Mums, who have a Twitter following of about 50,000. They call themselves the Million Mums, and they complained and said they were going to boycott, Million Mums and all this kind of thing. And, and they buckled to that and they pulled the advert.
What was the advert?
It was, it included, so it's just like this, whatever, this Valentine's Day, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It was a card advert. And so it was lovey-dovey couples, including, having a kiss and whatever. Not like, it wasn't pornographic or anything like that. And it was included an advert with two women kissing.
Just kissing.
Yeah. And so the Million Mums were saying how disgraceful it was and they shouldn't have to explain to their
that's
children.
sort of homophobic. That's what
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what it is.
It's just homophobic.
Oh, for God's sake, it's 2020. Come on.
I know. And
Gay
then,
people exist.
but
get
it's
over
also,
it.
they're not, as many, the counterpoint to that I've seen, which I always think is hilarious, is that gay people say, well, when I see a straight people kissing, that doesn't stop me being gay.
That's the thing. It's not the kissing. It's just seeing any sort of homosexuality.
Yeah, they're
That's
basically,
all it is.
they're homophobes. But they buckled to that, and it was like, but it's 50,000 people. What are you talking about? But they pulled the ad. Then there was a backlash against that.
Backlash against the backlash.
Yeah, and all these people were saying you shouldn't have buckled, etc. And all these other companies saying we'll show your advert on our channel. We don't care. And then Hallmark said, no, we realised we made a mistake. We'll show the advert again. And the company said, no, we don't want our. If you're going to buckle to homophobes, we don't want our adverts on your channel. Thank you very much. But that's what I mean. So once all these people die off, once they're all dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously you assume that their children, and some of their children will take on their views, but not all of them.
Yeah, no, it's drastically changing.
That's what I mean. It filters down, doesn't it, until normal I mean, obviously
normal services resumed.
No, but you see what happens in America, and you think, gosh, there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, there's still.
However, you think eventually all these savages will die out, and there'll only be normal, decent people. That's what you hope for, anyway.
What's surprising in America, though, is that, I mean, for instance, the national sort of zeitgeist on cannabis is just like vast majority of people are like, yeah, no, why is it illegal? It should be legal. So what? If you want to do it, It's fine.
Yeah, it's strange that's more liberal. I mean, which is
than booze. They seem to be cooler with that than booze, which is weird. Yeah.
Which is odd. Yeah.
Well, they collapse one state by state. They're all going legalization.
Yeah,
so it's just happening. It's in the process of happening, and eventually it'll have to come up. It'll have to happen here. That's just what
Probably
happens.
eventually. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's just a strange, all these things. Can you imagine someone being so openly homophobic as Mike Pence is, having political office in this country? I don't think I'm sure there are some who are homophobic, but just openly homophobic.
Mike I can pray the gay away.
Oh, he's definitely he's definitely.
I'd like to see his browser history.
Pray, I believe in God.
He's definitely a self-hating, and that's kind of. I have mixed feelings about that, because on the one hand, I feel sad that he feels he can't live his life as he wants to. On the other hand, I go, but then you're also, your own hatred is bringing down others with you.
Yeah, but they're not cared about that. They don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He doesn't, that's subhuman.
It's fine. It's fine if it's fine to just in your heart just think, oh, that's not for me.
But all these people, the extreme Trump supporters, all these angry people, there's just something internal in them that they're just it's coming out as sort of like political speech, but it's all to do with something going on inside them. Sexuality. It always just comes back to that. All these the Trump supporters going on about America and this and that, and they just hate. They just try. It's them. Life isn't good. Life is crap. I have to hate anybody. Move that lot out the way. Okay. Well, now we hate these.
That's the same with everyone, though, isn't it? If you're racist, if you're homophobic, if you're, I'm trying to think. Sorry, xenophobic, whatever. Any kind of thing, it's because you're a hate-filled person.
You're full of hate. And I mean, even you look at the Republicans when they were built on family values. They were the thing of family values. They were the ones for freedom of speech. They were the ones for state rights. They were the ones for the American flag, and they've literally just gone, nah, it's not the American flag. So all that thing that you're talking, it's all to hide something internal.
But the mad thing is they're chanting USA whilst waving the flag of the Confederate States
that's what I mean.
of America.
I remember Orson Welles. It seemed like a simple statement at the time. Well, it is a statement, but it's only when you go old you go, it's so true. And he said, I truly believe that patriotism is the last refuge of the scoundrel. It really is that last thing of you right. Well, my country, my the dirt that I stand on, I'm going to hide behind that. I'm going to hide behind that. I've got nothing else. At least I can hide behind that flag. And that's rubbish. They don't believe in the American. They'd sooner destroy the whole country than let others enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, when you question a lot of these people, they seem to hate everything that their country stands for. I've talked to people in this country who've been very, I'm a proud patriot and I love the values of this country. But, I think that all the lefties should be killed and all the communists should be arrested and homosexuality should be banned. It's like, well, so you don't believe in freedom and equality and justice. You literally hate everything that this country stands for.
Well, yeah, if you're screaming on top of a Jeep with an American flag, you believe in that the least. If you're somebody that's screaming against homosexuality, it's because there's something going on inside you. It's always a reflection of themselves. It's the old projection thing. It's why are you so angry about this? Oh, right, yeah, it's something inside you. And the American flag, so what do you want? The fellow with the horns and all that, what do you want? We're going to give you everything. I want America to go back to, white people. That's what it's got. White people, jobs, white people. Okay, right, there you go. We've got rid of all the immigrants. We've got rid of all that. Now it's just white people. You're going to stop being angry? Happy? No, there'll be something else. Do you know what I mean?
Then it'll be
it's hippies, the hippies are doing this thing. Or
the commies.
Or the people from the south or the north. You've got to keep fragmenting it until we just get down to you and one other person and you hate that other person. It's just you. It doesn't matter what the other stuff is, flags, Muslims.
There's something up with you rather than everyone else.
We're just going to eventually get rid of them. What else do you want? Get rid of them. What else? Blonde hair, brown hair, 5'10", 5 tall. Okay, right. So, and then you're just going to be you on your own, still angry. So you go, right, okay, so it's never about anything. It's just your problem. And a lot of nobody's there sort of millionaires, happy related. It's all like, my life is shite. I've made terrible decisions the whole way through my life and I know it, so I hate you. And any happiness I see makes it worse for me. No, anyway. So we'll end there. Anything else anybody want to bring up? No. How are you coping with the what was that? How are you coping with the?
That's I'm afraid I'm on a loud road.
Okay. How are you coping with everything? Everyone doing all right?
Yeah.
Charles.
Yeah. I've been fairly good through effectively 9 months of lockdown in this country.
When did it start? When was the first actual lockdown?
March
Was
March
it March
20,
that early?
Yeah.
Jesus, think of that whole March till the end of the year.
Should have
Because I lost my job.
Sooner.
I lost my job on like the beginning of March, and then we had lockdown at thing March. So
Yeah, but you got a better job now, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So how long were we unlocked for?
A month.
No, it was a fair old time, wasn't it?
Was
Because
it?
the different tiers, wasn't it?
December.
Oh, right, yeah,
no,
yeah.
but we had another national lockdown from November to December, and then we had a bit of December off, and then but we were in a higher tier, so we were in effectively a lockdown in this area. And then,
So this should be the last lockdown with the thing, but you never know if
fingers
something else.
crossed, man. Fingers
You
crossed.
just can't trust something else.
Inshallah.
Shangri-La.
God willing, man. God willing, everything gets sorted.
Well, I don't know what we do. Are we going to just sort of milk this teat with the 99.6? I'm not tipping over that 100 mark until we're in the new office. I'm not doing it. I'm not releasing the second album until we've perfected the first. But it's a long time. What was I going to say?
Yeah, I said I've been fairly chipper. Just finish my thoughts. Sorry, I've been fairly chipper through all the 9 months. But I don't know. I did have a bad spell last week or whatever. Where I was just more.
I need something to grab on
another 3-4 months of this, and I'm just
can't be that long. I don't think it'd be that. I don't think the country can bear that financially. I think they're going to have to get it open within a month, or at least drastically.
I honestly, I think this country's going to probably be in lockdown to probably realistic by April.
No, that's
till they get enough people vaccinated, until they start getting decent numbers. We've been vaccinating.
You don't know, something else might pop up. Do you know what I mean? That's just what we know now.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been vaccinating this country for a month today. Apparently, they've been doing it. We vaccinated 1.2 million people. At this rate, it will take 5.5 years.
And it's got to be second.
It will get better, and it will speed up, and the infrastructure will improve, and the rates will increase. But I'm saying on these current numbers, on this current rate, it would take 5.5 years to vaccinate everyone in this country.
Yeah, they're going to have to start doing more. I mean, I saw something, I think it was LinkedIn, some guy was offering his nightclub that wasn't open to use as a place to do injections, and other people were sort of popping up. I'm just relying in a strange way. I'm relying on the greed of government to say, we want money back in the coffers as soon as possible, so let's get this bloody thing rolled out. I'm relying on their greed to get money into the government. And Andrew, any last thoughts? How are you getting on?
Yeah, all right.
You writing scripts and whatnot?
Yeah.
Zombie?
Yeah.
I was joking.
No. It's that one because
coming.
The alien one has zombies in it.
It's getting even better.
But there's zombies controlled by aliens. No. There is a werewolf script in the offing though.
Okay, cool.
But
that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you watched anything? Did you watch that film I said to you the last
I haven't watched that yet. No, I've just been catching up on all the.
You said it was on Amazon, didn't you? The zombie thing.
Oh, what, the girl with all the gifts? No, I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my watch list. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Have you got Amazon, Charles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Come on, we're all slaves to it. Although he's lost the top spot to Elon Musk.
What was that about Elon Musk?
Yeah, Elon Musk is now the richest man in the world.
Why is he rich? I don't know anything about him. Really.
Shares and all that crap, isn't it? Because he does all, I don't know.
What, than Apple?
SpaceX and stuff,
Yeah, but Apple's owned by loads of different people. Don't know.
And that cannon where he's going to fire off billionaires across the country.
Where does
I think because he owns shares.
From?
He owns the shares in a lot of things, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he gets a lot of government subsidies as well, a lot of government funding.
Yeah, but where does the bulk of it? Where did he become who he is? Where did that come? It's was he own IBM or something?
Didn't he? Was he one of the founders of PayPal? I want to say.
Yes. I was going to say. I think he was PayPal.
Yeah, but then Facebook. He's got to be a Coca-Cola. How can he be on that level?
You don't make all that money producing stuff.
Right.
Genuinely, if you look at all the richest people in the world, they don't
Nothing
actually
physical.
Manufacture anything or produce anything physical. Usually,
Yeah.
Apple
Software.
do. Apple actually create stuff, tangible things. But most of these guys, the currency traders, the hedge fund guys, investors, whatever, insurance, and they don't really. You don't seem to make tons of cash actually making anything. You just have to leech off other people and other industries.
Create an app.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's number 99.5. We might be forced, just for reasons of sanity, to pop up with a 99.6. As I said, I refuse to go into the office, the new office, until we're out of well, we can't go in there until we're out of lockdown. Okay, well, that was that. So we'll probably be back soon with we'll have to forgive us for our sleight of hand for the 99.6 show. But unless something changes, we're going to have to be forced to do that. Again, just for reasons of sanity, just something to look forward to at the end of the week. So from me, from Charles and Andrew, goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Ivanka 2024. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, God. Don't.
Bye.
Bye. Good Lord.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be alive.